Welcome, and today I will be explaining relationships in an ecosystem. First of all, what is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is a community of living and non-living organisms coexisting in one environment. Here we have an energy pyramid, which shows you the levels of an ecosystem. At the bottom, we have the producers, which are eaten by the primary consumers, which are eaten by the secondary consumers, which are eaten by the tertiary consumers. In an ecosystem, we have two factors. We have the abiotic factors, which are the non-living elements in an ecosystem, such as water, air, soil. And we also have the biotic factors, which are living organisms in an ecosystem, such as animals and plants. Plants, algae, and other organisms that can make their own food are called autotrophs, or producers. Producers are usually at the bottom of the food chain, but they are also the foundation of the food chain, which makes them very important. The organism that eats the producer or autotrophs are called primary consumers, which makes them herbivores. A heterotroph is an organism that can't create its own food, so they depend on producers or animals for food. Both secondary and tertiary consumers eat other animals. However, a secondary consumer eats primary consumers, and a tertiary consumer eats secondary consumers, which makes them both carnivores. Carnivores are animals that eat meat or the flesh of other animals, and omnivores, animals that can eat both plants and animals. Humans are considered omnivores. Decomposers are organisms that eat other dead or decaying organisms. An example of a decomposer would be fungi. Decomposers are important to the ecosystem because they recycle nutrients, and without them, dead matter would just pile up. What are symbiotic relationships? Symbiotic relationships are when two organisms of different species both gain something from one another. A type of symbiotic relationship is mutualism. In mutualism, two organisms of different species benefit. For an example of mutualism is humans and plants. Plants produce oxygen, which is important for us to breathe, while humans give off carbon dioxide, which is then collected by plants. Commensalism is a relationship between two organisms where one benefits and the other is neither benefited or harmed. An example of commensalism are cattle egrets following cattle or ox. They do this because they are attracted to the insects the cattle stir in the fields. The birds are benefiting off the cattle for helping them find their prey, while the cattle are neither benefited or harmed by the cattle egrets. Parasitism. Parasitism is one of which the organism infects or harms another organism. The parasite is often called a host. An example of parasitism are tapeworms. Tapeworms are flatworms that attach themselves to the inside of intestines of animals such as pig, cows, and humans. They get food by eating the organism's partly digested food, depriving the host of nutrients. And that is all for today. Thank you.